Oh yes, finally, the US they have now mounted a diplomatic pressure for Tinubu government for him to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. In fact, you are going to see the whole video. Don't skip any part of it because this our brother Okocha is going to explain to us a lot of things that is in this in the reports that is coming out just now and what is going on both in US Congress, both what is happening right now in Nigerian system because as it is, everybody has been expecting let them come with a force that would force this government for them to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because if you look at it very well, Mazi did not do anything wrong now need to warrant him to be in prison. But they do all those things in the name of due to he's an Igbo man. And again, is because of his speaking for the people that did not have power. And you know, government and the people that did not have power, like the poor people, so them and they don't used to like to hear somebody coming out to fight for those who don't have the power or the money to fight with them. So that is what is there. In fact, a lot is happening. A lot is happening. As you can see, a lot has been going on. Both the issue of U.S. Congress, Rory Moore, and the Ted Cruz, and many of them, the way they have been coming out to speak about the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and after everything, Tinubu, he would do as if he did not understand what is going on, but this time it is now a diplomatic pressure they are now coming on so that they can force Tinubu for him to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. If I just take your time and watch it to the end, don't skip any part of it. As about to watch, like, subscribe and share for everyone to see things going on in Biafra land.
This is Tuesday evening, 2nd day of June 2026. There was a resolution submitted by Congressman James. It was dated on April 9, 2026, highlighting the growing concerns about the treatment of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, who remains in custody following his controversial transfer from Kenya to Nigeria in June 2021 and was later convicted and imprisoned in November 2025. All right, let's talk about why the United States Rep, led by a resolution of Rep James, want to mount a diplomatic pressure on Nigeria to releasing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. As I said, this is just a diplomatic pressure, nothing more, nothing else. And they have a key evidence or a key reason why they are mounting a diplomatic pressure. And that is what I want to explain to you in this video. Now, if you remember in the year 2021, after the Nigerian government did what they did by kidnapping Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya, bringing him into Nigeria, remember that the United Nations Committee on Arbitrary Detention, they had a sitting. They declared what they did to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu illegal. It was everywhere. Remember what James Omotosho said that international law or international United Nations law cannot supersede Nigerian constitution. So that is why he did not even look towards that angle to judging Mazi Nnamdi Kanu case. Whether the United Nations said Nigeria is wrong by detaining him, it does not concern them. So they are not bound to obeying a law that they have signature on. But little do they know that that is also a key factor where the United States of America Rep James will come in to advocate for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. All right. As you can see, the topic of this newspaper, U.S. House of Reps introduces a resolution citing human rights concern in Nnamdi Kanu case. Let us understand the details. I'm going to explain this article paragraph by paragraph for you to understand the details of the resolution by this rep man. It reads that the United States House of Representatives has introduced a resolution calling on the government of Nigeria to ensure that all legal proceedings involving Mazi Nnamdi Kanu are conducted in line with Nigerian constitution, obligations, and international human rights commitments. So this is going to be something that is going to hit the Nigerian government, especially this time that election is coming. You know, Nigerian politicians, they fear anything about election because they don't want to lose power. So anything that has to do with diplomatic pressure, they don't always like to, fight it, because it will go a long way sabotaging their rigging and everything. You know, when you are a thief, you always do something to please the police so that they will not come and arrest you. That is what majority of these people are doing. All right. Let us also understand one thing before I move forward. You see, Nigerian newspapers, every now and then, they were calling Nnamdi Kanu a terrorist because they said IPOB is proscribed. Like, they find joy in doing all these things. How many newspaper have you seen calling the Fulani militia terrorists? How many newspaper in Nigeria have you seen calling all these people, killing, beheading people, terrorists? How many newspapers? I'm asking you, because you were brainwashed to be thinking that, oh, what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was doing, he want to divide Nigeria. Anybody that want to divide Nigeria, the person is a bad person, because you were psycho-conditioned to believe that. Unfortunately, here we are. Everything now is against us. Look at the people killing you every day. Every state in Nigeria is under siege. Every state in Nigeria is under siege. And no newspaper is calling these people out. No newspaper is calling them terrorists. No newspaper is calling them terrorists. But every now and then, Vanguard News, Channels Television, Guardian, The Nation, TVC News, they found joy, Daily Trust, in calling IPOB proscribed, calling Nnamdi Kanu terrorist. If Nnamdi Kanu is a terrorist, US will not be advocating for him. Or the whole international body, there is no place they have declared that, oh, IPOB is a terrorist organization. Because the world knows the people who are the terrorists. The world knows who are the terrorists. The world understands the reason why they are persecuting Nnamdi Kanu. It is just because of you. You don't know that anyone that challenges powers that be, anyone that challenges terror sponsors, they will take him out of the way. That is just the clear definition of what transpired. Now, let us continue. The resolution submitted by Rep. James and dated April 9, 2026 highlights growing concern about the treatment of Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, who remained in custody following his controversial transfer from Kenya to Nigeria in June 2021, and was later convicted and imprisoned in November 2025. On November 20, 2025, a federal high court in Abuja, presided over by Justice James Omotosho, found Nnamdi Kanu guilty on terrorism-related charges, including inciting violence and unlawful broadcasts. The judge sentenced Kanu to life imprisonment for count 1, 4, 5, and 6, opting against the death penalty, which is currently frowned upon globally. He also received concurrent 20-year and 5-year sentence for other counts. Whereas, concerns have been raised regarding the circumstances of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's apprehension in Nairobi, Kenya in June 2021 and his subsequent transfer to Nigeria, the resolution states, noting that legal observers and international bodies have questioned whether the transfer comply with international law. The document cites findings of the United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention, which is July 2022, concluded that Nnamdi Kanu detention violated international human rights obligation. If he is a terrorist, United Nations Working Group will not come out to make the statement. So the world knows the people who are the terrorists. You understand? Now, let us see what we go with this. As I said before, this is nothing but just a diplomatic pressure. Yeah, this is a diplomatic pressure. And I believe that Nigerian government will bow down to this pressure. Yes, Nigerian government will bow down to this pressure. And, you know, Nigeria ruling APC, they can do everything for politics. This time around, they are looking for who to vote for them. They might say, oh, let us release Nnamdi Kanu. Maybe his people will use because of that to vote for us. Unfortunately, the time that maybe you are supposed to do it, people will say, yes, you release it by yourself. I think the time has passed. But let's see what this diplomatic pressure is going to, what is going to yield. Now, out of the issue of Nnamdi Kanu, but in relation to this case, the terrorists who are called bandits, in the opposite of Nnamdi Kanu, they were imported by this government. You know why I said in the opposite of Nnamdi Kanu? If Nigerian Secret Service, DSS, police, army, they are going to visit terrorists every day in the bush. They will follow Gumi. It's Gumi that confesses that they follow him to go and see the terrorists. That is to say, these people knows who are the terrorists, number one. Secondly, if they say that Nnamdi Kanu is a terrorist, and they are now rehabilitating the terrorists, but the sentence him to prison is just an opposite to tell you that he is not a terrorist. We know the terrorists in this country. We know the terrorists who are in Aso Rock, according to, Kunde Ondawumi. We know the governors who are terrorists. We know the terrorists who are in the Senate. We have proofs of everything that they are doing. So the government, they themselves are in trouble because the government is the government of terrorists. The evidence is everywhere. People who are sponsoring terrorism are in the government. They are paying terrorists. The people they are even paying confess it. The victims who stay with them confesses it. Nasser Rufai, who is part of Tinubu Kaba, who has been working with APC since, he knows that they are paying terrorists. He came to tell the whole world that Tinubu is paying terrorists. That does not exonerate him that he is also a good man, that he himself was not paying terrorists. No, that is not exempting him. But when I am a thief, you are a thief. We know ourselves. So I can tell people what you are doing. That is the case of Rufai and Tinubu. Rufai coming out to expose Tinubu. In trying to remove Jonathan, they imported stateless people, Fulani militia, from all over the world. This is what I wanted the US to raise since. This is what I wanted the world to raise. Because this is the only reason why terrorism flourishes in Nigeria, why they are paying them, doing all sorts of things. Who is going to challenge them? That is the only reason why Nnamdi Kanu stood up. Nnamdi Kanu said, I can't watch these politicians importing terrorists to rape our mothers, kill our children, do this, do this. I am going to defend my land. I am going to defend my ancestral land. I am going to defend the land of my father. That is his only crime. He started broadcast, educating people, trying to make sure that people wake up from their slumber, emancipating people, and they see that this man is a problem. We cannot completely capture Nigeria if this man is free. Never can we capture Nigeria if Nnamdi Kanu is free. And a lot of people don't know that if Nnamdi Kanu is not in detention, that Fulani terrorists will not stage in Nigeria today. It's a promise. You don't know. If Nnamdi Kanu is not in detention, Fulani terrorists will never capture Nigeria. As I speak to you, every state, including my state, Delta State, is under siege. Everywhere, these people are killing. But when Nnamdi Kanu was challenging them, equipping people mentally, people of Benue, he was equipping them mentally. Then he formed a vigilante group called ESM because there was nothing like security outfit defending our land. Military and police, they were colluding with the terrorists. The evidence of collusion of the military and the terrorists is everywhere. I still have it. They were colluding. When T.Y. Danjuma said they collude, people fail to understand that. When Kunde Ondawumi, head of military intelligence agency, now retired, said they are the terrorists, they are in the government, people fail to understand. But that is the real thing I am telling you today. That if Nnamdi Kanu is not in detention, Fulani militia will never capture Nigeria. But people will not understand it. People will say, no, Nnamdi Kanu was the one that was arming boys. They destabilized the Southeast. Shut up. What did you know? What do you know? Do you have the proof how the Southeastern governors, how they arm their boys answering ESM? These are the boys that even though military captured them, military will say, we have captured these people. Tomorrow, these people will leave. Who is releasing them? These people have also confirmed that governors approach them. Governors buy Igbo for them. Governors do all sorts of things for them. There is no insurgency, insecurity that can last in a country for 1 year, 6 months, 1 month if the government is not involved. Don't let anybody to deceive you that there is somebody hidden sponsoring insecurity. I read the story of Anini. It was police and people in government that was helping Anini to terrorize the old men there. But when the president asks the police inspector, where is Anini? Get him or you will get you fired. They produce Anini now. They produce him. So when we are talking about all this, we know what we are talking about. We know what we are talking about. If Nnamdi Kanu is not in detention, Fulani militia will never capture Nigeria. The man was like a bone. Just telling you what is going to happen, exposing so many things. And he was hated for that. He was hated for that. Now, The question is this. If the United States House of Rep receiving this submission, putting diplomatic pressure on Nigeria, if they succeeded in releasing Nnamdi Kanu, there are a lot of truths that is going to be unfolded. A lot of truths will be unfolded. People in the government, they are the one who are sponsoring insecurity, not individuals. I was watching these terrorists. There was a place they were doing peace deal. They came, they said, listen, I swear in the name of Allah, I don't know AK-47. I have never seen guns before. It was the government that came to give us gun. The government gave us gun. They asked us to terrorize. They asked us communities to terrorize. Like, why is it that Nigerians don't process all these videos? You just see video, a raw video, you just see it. ISWAP will come, they will say, ISIS will come, they will say, Taraba, convert to Islam or you will kill all of you. Everybody is folding their hands, hoping that, 2027 is going to come and they are going to change anything. Like you hope that Buhari should leave. And Tinubu now enter office, Tinubu became worse. Now, this is my last submission I'm going to tell you. And it's not about Nnamdi Kanu now. It's about your hope for 2027. The reason why I will never oppose anyone doing an election, even me myself, I will tell you the truth. If I want to participate in election, I can go and participate, but I will tell you the truth. Nobody will win an election that will change Nigeria. If Tinubu win the election, there will be chaos, there will be anarchy. Because the terrorists will be on rampage. Everybody will be angry because they will say they did not vote for him and he won. Then, if another person like IPOB win the election, IPOB is not a terror sympathizer, it's not a terror sponsor. IPOB is a good man. But you see people in government today, they control the terrorists in Nigeria. They are going to use the terrorists to destabilize Nigeria in 3 months once IPOB enter there. There are some things that are supposed to be left unsaid. They will destabilize. See, in 2014, few months to election of 2015, Osinbajo came to national television. He said, Goodluck Jonathan win election, we create parallel government. Do you know the meaning of parallel government? Meaning they are going to have different government in Nigeria. Other than Jonathan, they will divide Nigeria. That was what APC was telling you. We are going to create a parallel government. Then Buhari said, if I lose this election, the streets will soak with blood. The street, the monkey and babu will be soaking blood. Like, he was telling you that if I lose this election, we will massacre everybody in Nigeria. Then his vice said, we'll create a parallel government in Nigeria. I'm telling you, they will do it. They will do it. So, you people should wise up. Wise up now. That is why I am saying that, you see, this pseudo nation is not, it's not sustainable. Keep on believing what you are believing. You are not in obligation to believe what I'm saying, but may God keep you alive to remember what I'm telling you now. They are going to destabilize Nigeria. These people don't love Nigeria. They have the intention. There is an interest to turn Nigeria into an Islamic Sharia state, a terror stronghold. People in the intelligence circle knows this. So, I'm just saying this because a lot of people may say they are disappointed. Go and do your elections, do your campaigns. If I want to campaign for anyone, if I want to vote for anyone, I will do. But you know why I won't shake? Because I already know either this or this, the outcome. Yeah, it's catastrophic. Because the country is not sustainable. The country is not one. The country is not supposed to be one. The country has no business of being one. But here we are. See you in my next video.
So my people, this is 21st of June 2026 and I'm back again to share with you another important trending and latest update. My wonderful people, no be smarty, no. Hey, this US former mayor Mazi Nnamdi by name have dropped an important and latest update today. And this update, I thought it wise to bring it here because it concerns us. Because even somebody like me, and I know so many other people, have been thinking that the US and Israel will someday, if not very soon, invade Nigeria and give us Biafra. But this US former mayor said no. There is something that Biafrans are ought to do that will trigger US to give us Biafra. So guys, let's see the post, then we go know the content inside. So guys, according to Mazi Nnamdi, he said, I keep hearing the same plea. When will the United States or Britain recognize Biafra? When will they sanction Tinubu? When will they free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? The honest answer from a man who has been inside the rooms where these decisions are made: they would not without a campaign you have not yet started. Una hear am? So McAnally they try to let all of us know that without campaign, when he's talking about campaign, he meant active campaign, that the US, the Britain, any other power country would never come into Nigeria to give us Biafra or even sanction Tinubu or free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That we have to do something. We can't just fold our hands and we are expecting expecting Israel to come and do something. That reminds me the reason why our wife Rachel Wosu from Israel, why she was busy making effort with diplomacy work, making sure that she's getting enough signature. When I see what we ought to do, so they are telling us, this man, they tell us, say, he don't dare room where decisions are made. We don't see him many times with some US congressmen them inside meetings. So he said, he've listened, he've already know the secret, that without we having an active campaign for this to happen, that the US and or any other power country will never invade Nigeria and give us Biafra. Let's continue. Here is the truth. Based on the deep knowledge of the system and the historical record of every liberation movement in the modern world, no begging, no court filing, no friendly politician, no lobbying campaign will gain you anything at all. If there is not a global awakening behind it, now hear them, that we need to create awareness, we need to campaign, we need to make efforts, the world need to hear our voice, okay? Without that awakening, every dollar spent on advocacy, every hour spent on social media tagging members of Congress is wasted. Now hear am. So all this while when we dey make video, we go tag US Congress like Rep. Moore and Trump to the video so that they will see it. He said na total waste of time. If we really want them to intervene and give us Biafra, free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we should do the needful, which is advocating for Biafra, campaigning for Biafra massively, not wasting thousands of dollars or millions of dollars on lobbying fame, not spending time on social media tagging the US Congress, say no go pay us at all. The only thing where Donald Trump, all this power country need from us is being the one to campaign for Biafra by ourselves. No kuna kama onye kuria. We will get the matter, need to campaign, need the world to hear our voice. They should know that we really want a freedom. We really want freedom from Nigeria. In conclusion, he said here, this is not defeatism. This is realism. The work matters, but it only matters when the foundation underneath it exists. When I hear him, he said the work matters. We need to put in the work, not media war, not tagging the US Congress. So my people, now I've seen the reason why our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu decided to appoint McAnally as one of the new DOS. My people, this man get wisdom, and this is the little secret where he don't give us right now. So I'm going to be playing this video interview of him. Please, I will implore you, I will beg you to take your time, watch this video, hear everything where you talk here, because the matter concerns us. Please, as you're watching this video, I beg, like and you know, will cost you anything. Share and make other Biafra follow us. See the way, the secret, how we are going to get Biafra.
Raise the issue of Nnamdi Kanu.
No, I wasn't well versed on that point.
But and this was in 2024, so he hadn't been convicted and sentenced to life in Sokoto at that point. But I raised vociferously the issue of the displaced, and that has been and remains my number one motivate. Everything I'm doing, people ask, why are you doing this? Well, I want my friends in the displacement camp to be able to go home in peace. That's what it comes down to. And the deeper you get down that hole, that rabbit hole, the more you realize that the only way that can ever happen is if this entire system is torn down and a new one put in its place. They'll never go home in peace under this current system, ever. It's not possible.
Have you ever raised the issue of constitutional reform with anyone within the Nigerian government?
Not to my recollection, not directly, no.
Are you still in contact with anyone within the Nigerian government?
I got their WhatsApp numbers, but will they talk to me? I don't know. After my press conference on October 14th, that same day, the Nigerian government convened an emergency Senate meeting to address it. I'm sort of persona non grata. If I was a Nigerian, I would have been killed a long time ago.
Why does Mazi Nnamdi Kanu continue to be regarded as a polarizing figure in Nigeria today? And what does that say about Nigerians' handling of dissent and separatist movements?
What's interesting, and I never studied his teachings that much at all, really. But I find that I'm saying a lot of the same things he said. Like I said, I didn't do any archaeology to find this stuff. It's all in public record. But he spoke truth about the evil regime, about the machinery behind it, and there are statements that I know he made that out of context, I have a hard time defending, but I'm not going to, like I said, out of context, I'm not going to get into that. I do know this, Nelson Mandela was a lot more of a violent person with a history and track record of violence than Kanu ever was. And just the way he was detained, dual citizen, British citizen on British soil, like you, speaking words on a podcast like you, visited Kenya, and they illegally abducted him. No extradition treaty. It's been criticized by the Kenyan government, by the international community. Illegally returned and shows up in Nigeria, held for a long time, and then finally put on trial under a law that was no longer on the books. No law. And a kangaroo court, and he was sentenced to life in Sokoto prison. He's in the Sultan's private little collection up there, is what it is. Separate his case from the idea of separatism. Just look at, here's a human being, for words spoken in Great Britain, a British citizen, illegally abducted and then put through a kangaroo court, tried and convicted under a non-existent law, and then sentenced to life in the Caliphate prison. That's not right. That is injustice. That is tyranny. That's grotesque. His background is a lot more peaceful than Nelson Mandela's ever was. And I believe he will emerge as the Nelson Mandela of this. His crime was speaking truth to power, and they couldn't stand it. So yeah, they're going to continue to call him a polarizing figure, call him a terrorist and all that stuff, which is about as hypocritical as you can get. The terrorists calling the guy, I put it this way, when you're in the darkness, turning on the light is terror. Truth is terror to darkness. And so yeah, from that regards, he's a terrorist. He spoke truth to reveal their evil plans. He's polarizing because he spoke the truth in a nation of liars.
So this week, the U.S. a member of U.S. Congress raised the issue of Nnamdi Kanu's detention and treatment and urged Secretary of State Rubio to liaise with the Nigerian government. Why do you think the issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still something that is popular in the U.S. political discourse?
I don't know that it is. I mean, one representative, my understanding is, and it could go somewhere. I hope it does. But I see online, the U.S. Congress. No, one congressman out of 400 and some odd filed a resolution. I don't believe there's a co-sponsor to it yet. So it hasn't been even brought to committee, and it certainly hasn't passed committee or the Congress yet. But it has been filed. So that's something. It's a human rights issue. Fundamentally, it's a human rights issue. The United States, if you recollect, Riley Moore came out and demanded the release of Sunday Jackson for the man who was convicted for self-defense. It's human rights, and again, separating his case from his call for separation. Which, looking at the case on the merits of the case, it is nothing but a grotesque human rights violation. It is nothing but abject, lawless tyranny. And the U.S. has a history of standing up for human rights and standing against tyranny. So that's a proud tradition, and I'm glad that the representative did that, and I hope it goes somewhere. It's an injustice.
Do you think the British government have done enough, given that Nnamdi Kanu is a British citizen? If you think they haven't done enough, why do you think they haven't done enough?
I don't believe they've done anything. I think one word from them could get him released. They don't want him released because he was exposing their complicity in the Biafran genocide. The British are the ones that set up they merged the North and the South, which should never have been. These were independent nations. The Hausa nation, the Yoruba nation, the Igbo nation, and all the others. They came after the Berlin Conference, where the European powers carved up Africa like the Christmas turkey with not one African person present, no African interests represented. They carved it up. They were given this area. And eventually, for administrative efficiency, they just said, we're going to make it one. And it was the administrator's girlfriend who picked the name Nigeria. This will be cute. And they designed it. They rigged it for the power to, it's all documented, rigged it for the power to be under control of the caliphate.
In the way everything is happening. So in this diplomatic order, let's see what the government, what Tinubu will do. Let's see, and also Michael Arnold, what he said concerning the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and also the freedom of Biafra, and the reason why the Nigerians are afraid of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu release, because he is exposing the evil, the thing that the British did to Nigerian people that make them not to develop till now, the Berlin Conference and the rest of them. So he talks so many things concerning Nigerian Federation and the government. In fact, I would like you to comment and below, like, subscribe, and share for everyone to see things going on in Nigeria. So thank you for watching.